Hey guys, welcome back for another video. What we're going to be focusing on today is our Week 2 teams that need to be on upset alert. We have 5 specific games coming up this weekend where the team that's favored needs to be watching out for their opponent because they could easily lose it. The spreads are close. The over-under are close. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments on any of these games, drop them below and I will make sure to respond. As I mentioned, this is our upset alert video for the Week 2 of the 2024 college football season. Let's go ahead and get started running through these games. The very first one that stood out to me where the favorite team needs to potentially be looking out at their opponent at 12 p.m. on Fox on Saturday, number 4 Texas Longhorns visiting number 9 Michigan Wolverines. Texas comes in here. They are 7.5-point favorites on the road. The over-under is 42.5. Texas, they have a comfortable one-possession score that they're favored by. The reason they need to be on upset alert, they're going to the Big House. They're going to Ann Arbor to play Michigan. There's going to be 100,000 fans in the stadium. They're going to be yelling. They're going to be loud. They are the defending national champions. You have to treat them with some respect. That does come with a lot of gravitas there. They're going to have people outside the stadium banging on the bus. It's going to be crazy. Sharon Moore, his Week 1 coaching performance, that was not the best Week 1 for Michigan, but it was Week 1. You don't want to put too much into it. Their biggest issue is the quarterbacks. Davis Warren, Alex Orji, no one is cemented as the number 1 guy. They're kind of rotating them both in. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. They only have 1 guy back on their national championship offense. We know they're going to have a top 10 defense, and that's what Texas needs to be concerned about. Michigan has a top 10 physical defense. If they force you to shut down your run game and they force you to have to beat them vertically through the air, can you do that? Michigan, they're going to play ground and pound, time control, run the clock, ground and pound, line up in the eye, run downhill. They're going to try to keep the ball out of Texas's offense's hands. But if it comes down to it, who has the experienced veteran quarterback? Texas. Quinn Ewers is there. He's played great defenses before. He's been in big games. This stage is not too big for him. He's been there before. He's actually performed in the biggest games. In Tuscaloosa versus Alabama versus Saban and in the playoffs. Yes, they lost it, but they didn't lose it because of him. He went off that game. They have a very talented team. They're going to have a top 20 offense as well and a top 20 defense, but you need to treat Michigan with respect, which I have no doubt Steve Sarkisian will. He's not sleeping on this game. He knows how physical Michigan is. They could punch you in the mouth. You have to be able to take it and respond back. That's why Texas needs to be on upset alert here, but I think they are built to win this game. I have them winning in Ann Arbor, winning this one 27-17, covering that spread, going with the over. Texas is in Michigan's shoes last season. They're a team that just barely lost out on the national championship, and they have a vendetta this season to get back there and win it all. I have Texas winning it. The next game that we're looking at where the team needs to be on upset alert at 12 p.m. on Saturday on ABC, number 1 Arkansas visits number 17, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. There's a reason that Oklahoma State needs to be on upset alert. There's a lot riding on this game. This is the Big 12 versus SEC. So conference rights, conference respect is on the line here. You're playing an SEC team. They're going to be big, fast, physical. Yes, this is not one of the SEC's best teams, but they're not a doormat. Sam Pittman is feeling a lot of heat, but he always fields a competitive team. It's just they always lose by 1 possession. But you have Bobby Petrino on the other side calling plays. One of the best play callers in modern football. He runs a multiple scheme. They're going to throw it. They're going to run it. They're going to be balanced. Green had a great Week 1 performance as the quarterback, threw for 230 yards, 90 rushing yards. As I mentioned, they're going to be balanced. They're going to have a mobile quarterback. They're going to move the ball. Oklahoma State does not have the best defense. It's not god-awful, but it's just average. So if Arkansas is running it, throwing it, what are they doing? They're keeping the ball out of Ollie Gordon's hands. That's a massive loss. He is the best running back in college football. The reigning Doak Award winner, 1,700 yards last season, 21 total touchdowns. He's a difference maker. Oklahoma State, they want to ground and pound. They have Bowman at quarterback. They have a top 10 experienced offensive line. They want to lean back on Arkansas. So it's actually kind of like a power on power. These teams are very balanced because this isn't the Big 12 of 2008. This is a Big 12 that actually has the best crop of running backs out of any conference in the nation. Oklahoma State's fine lining it up with you and just handing the ball off to Ollie Gordon. That's why they're 7.5-point favorites here. The over-under kind of leans towards a shootout, 62.5. When you look at these team stats, don't underestimate the Razorbacks offense, especially when Oklahoma State, they're not coming in there with a top 30 defense. Probably going to be around 50 to 60th. That's average. It's okay, but it's not enough to give them enough of a cushion, but they are at home. I have Oklahoma State winning this one 34-17, not covering the spread, but I'm going with the over. But I do think that spread is going to come down once we get to game day. But Oklahoma State, take Arkansas and their experienced coaching staff seriously. I have no problems. Mike Gundy's been around, the second longest tenured coach in college football. He's going to take him serious. He wants to win this game. He's no joke. He's a great coach, a top 10 coach. They're going to win this game, but they need to be watchful. If you don't take it serious, if you don't have your best day, you might drop it. The next game that we're looking at, the next team that needs to be on upset alert is the Iowa Hawkeyes. At 3:30 p.m., we have Iowa State playing Iowa. This is number 21 Iowa. They are going to be at home. They coming into this game, they're 2.5-point favorites at home. The over-under 35.5. As is typical with an Iowa game, a very low over-under, and they always seem to go under. That's just the way that it is. Kirk Ferentz, great coach. We know Iowa's going to be bringing in a top 10, extremely physical defense. They're always going to get a lot of takeaways. They play some of the best special teams in the nation. Their offense did not start out last week hot. Obviously, Kirk Ferentz, he changed offensive coordinators. They're supposed to be a lot better on offense this season, a lot more balance. They went into halftime last week up 6-0. But then they completely curb stomped and owned the second half, scored 34 points second half. They were able to throw it at will with Cade McNamara. They were able to run it. And their tight end looks like one of the best in the nation right now, a top 3 draft pick. So their offense is showing improvement. That was just week 1. If they continue building on that, they have a pretty easy schedule this year. They can actually kind of sleepwalk and fall to 10-2 and potentially make a run at the Big Ten championship and the playoffs. If they just have a top 80 offense, they're going to have a top 10 defense. They might make the playoffs. They were 131st out of 132 teams last year on offense. That was pathetic. They're going to be a lot better this season. Keep your eye on them. But Iowa State, there's in-state rights up for grabs here. This is an in-state rivalry matchup, one of the best rivalries in football. Iowa State, Campbell, great coach, physical defense. They can run the ball. They have a new offense this season. They're passing and a lot more, running more of a spread air raid system. Becht had a great game last game, 270 yards, no picks. But Iowa's defense is otherworldly. It's going to be legitimate. But you could easily lose an in-state rivalry game at home in week 2 when you're running a new scheme. They need to take it seriously. But Kirk Ferentz is the longest tenured coach in college football. He's definitely going to take this game seriously. The guy knows how to coach. I have Iowa winning this one 23-9, covering the spread, but I'm going with the under. Iowa goes under a lot of the time. Our next matchup, Saturday at 7:30 p.m., we have number 14 Tennessee Volunteers visiting number 24 NC State. Tennessee on the road here, 8-point favorites, over under 60.5. The team that needs to be on upset alert is the Tennessee Volunteers. This is the game of the weekend. A lot of eyes are going to be watching this game. This is the nighttime ABC game. This is the big one. It's ranked on ranked. The reason they need to be on upset alert is they're playing a top 25 team. Whenever it's ranked on ranked, take it serious. You're not playing a bad team at all. This is one of the top 25 teams in the nation. However, NC State did start out last week pretty crappy. They did not have a good first half at all. Grayson McCall did not look comfortable in this game first half. Yes, they owned the second half. They were able to run the ball second half, make plays down the field, but they didn't get any push the whole first half. That's kind of a warning sign in week 1 versus not a very good team. They have to start out the game a lot faster if they want to compete with Tennessee. If they do, Grayson McCall, he's played about 30 years of college football. he should be able to adapt to his scheme a lot quicker. If they kind of hit the ground running this week, Tennessee, if they have any hiccups on the road, they might get caught off guard here. NC State always has a physical defense, and they're definitely going to have that at home. But Tennessee, Josh Heupel, one of the best play callers ever. You have a top 20 offense, top 20 defense. You have Nico at quarterback. You have Squirrel White. You have a deep running back room. You have a good defense. They can beat you multiple ways. They can beat you balanced. They can beat you going air raid and throwing the ball. They can beat you running the ball downhill. They can beat you relying on their defense. This is a really good team. They could potentially find themselves at 10-2 competing in the SEC this season. They need to win these out-of-conference games because the SEC schedule is going to be hard. There's pressure on them. They don't want to get caught looking at the SEC schedule and they get caught on this game on the road. That's where the upset potential comes in. I don't think it's going to happen. Tennessee, very good team. This is a team that could borderline get into the playoffs. Everything is still in front of them. I have Tennessee winning this game 37-24, covering the spread, and I'm going with the over. But take this ranked-on-ranked matchup seriously while you're on the road. Don't get caught looking further down the schedule. I don't think they will, though. And our final team that needs to be on upset alert at 10 p.m. on Peacock. And it's a shame this game is on Peacock because I want to watch it so bad. It's going to be a good one. We have Boise State 1-0 at number 7, Oregon. Oregon comes in here. They are favored by 19.5 points. The over-under 61.5. The Oregon Ducks, very talented team, very physical team. They have a top 5 roster. They're going to have a top 10 defense, a top 10 offense. The reason they need to be on upset alert is they started out week 1. They look like crap. They did not play well at all. Dylan Gabriel had a great game. He went 41 of 48, 380 yards, but he was not throwing the ball past 5 or 10 yards. Why? 1, he didn't have a time. 2, no one was open. And 3, the offensive line had 0 push. They could not run the ball at all that game versus Idaho. That is not a good step going forward. They should have been able to blow them out. That was a massive spread. He is the Heisman frontrunner coming into this season. He didn't play bad. It's just their offense could not get any traction whatsoever. However, don't panic. It's week 1. Week 1's a very iffy week. They won the game. Never apologize for a win. Winning is all that really matters at the end of the day. I'm not hitting the panic button at all. I think Oregon's going to get better every single week going forward. New year, new scheme, new quarterback in that scheme. So I think they're going to get better. It's just they just had to get a little more comfortable. Maybe they got caught looking further down to schedule towards the Buckeyes coming up soon. Lanning needs to right that ship. They definitely will. At least they still had a top 10 defense there to shut down Idaho and make sure that their offense had time to win the game. For Boise, this is an offense that could score. If you don't take Boise serious, then you haven't been learning from history. They surprise you. They punch you in the mouth. Gentry went off last week at running back. They're deep at running back, one of the best running backs in the country, and they have good quarterback play. Defense gives up a lot of points, so the routes are going to be there for Oregon to score. This game could easily turn into a shootout. Oregon's at home, though, one of the toughest places to play. Oregon is favored. I have them winning this game. So I have the Ducks winning it 45-23, covering the spread, and I'm going with the over. However, if Oregon plays exactly like they played last week, they're going to lose this game. That's why they need to be on upset alert. I don't foresee that happening. I think they're going to get hot. They're going to go off. They are going to catch fire. But there's the potential. The last time that we saw them, they didn't look good. So if they look the same this week, they lose. But I don't think the probability of that happening is very high. But I just want to see it first. I want to see them play well, make sure that they get to the Buckeyes game undefeated. That's our breakdown of our top 5 teams that need to be on upset alert for the Week 2 college football games. As I mentioned earlier, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below, and I will respond. Thank you.